Now, I'll be the first to say I'm not a fan of subscription services. I personally dislike the idea of subscription services, despite the fact that I have been subscribing to PlayStation Plus since, 2011, I want to say? So I've been building up at least a decent library from the free games catalog that they've had for like the longest time at this point. But what's actually made me dislike subscription services, especially in the current era of gaming, is because of Xbox Game Pass. And the fact that it's very difficult to be able to really pin down whether or not it's good or bad for the industry. And I feel more often than not, I've seen more negative things regarding it than positive things. But that's just kind of my opinion. That being said, however, it seems like Sony is going to be changing its PS Plus pricing as more players choose higher tiers. The way I read that is, changing prices has always been increase. It's never been decrease. So in a way, the way that I look at it is, this is the way in which Sony is going to be increasing the prices later on down. Or rather, the fact that their PS Plus prices will keep going up no matter what. By how much? That's really the question. So, CEO Hideaki Nishino says subscribers are increasingly choosing higher tiers despite price increases. And the increases have affected higher tiers more than lower tiers. So I don't know if they want to try and bait people into taking in higher tiers, because for myself personally, of the 3 tiers, I am on the lowest tier because I just want access to the online, which again is an arbitrary reason to not even have the thing at all, but also the 3 or 4 monthly games that get added to your account. As long as you take advantage of that, you gotta make sure that you add it to your library during the months in which they're available. Otherwise, if you don't do that, then you're basically pissing away your PlayStation Plus right then and there. And sometimes there's some pretty good discounts on the PlayStation Store, but unless they're over 60-70% discounts, probably not worth getting. And so where does all of this come from? So basically what Hideaki Nishino said was, subscribers are increasingly choosing our premium and extra tiers, which now represent approximately 38% of subscribers. And if I'm doing my math right here, 62% of total subscribers are on the lowest tier, myself being among those. This was supported by a chart showing that 17% of PS Plus subscribers were on premium and 13% were on extra in financial year 2022, and this has increased to 22 and 16 respectively by financial year 2024. In a fireside chat video released alongside the presentation, Nishino explained the situation further, addressing the topic of increased in PlayStation Plus subscription fees. PlayStation Plus is highly valued by our players and continues to drive engagement. No, it's just for the online, basically, unless you want access to the full roster of games that are available as part of that subscription service, which is extremely unreliable, because the thing is that when it came to something like Netflix, you could watch a show fairly quickly. It doesn't take that long to watch a couple seasons of a show and then bounce from Netflix altogether. So when shows go into Netflix or leave Netflix, it's not that big of a deal. But with games, some games are really short, some games are really long. So depending on how much free time you have available, it might take you a month, couple months, or even a whole year to get through a game. But what if that game were to then leave PlayStation Plus? It just seems really, really stupid. And then you'll have to be either wait until it comes back or buy the game and play it yourself, because there's no way of really being able to tell when games enter the subscription service or leave. And that's kind of what makes it really annoying, is sometimes when first party games leave, there is quite literally no justification for that to ever happen, if I'm being completely honest. But it's happened in the past with the Horizon games. Anyway, besides the point, we've seen a trend towards the option of higher tiers within our service, as evidenced by the subscriber mix we achieved in financial year 2024, where approximately 38% of players are now subscribed to PlayStation Plus Premium or Extra tiers. So he says, so it says in this chart here, involving value proposition and increased awareness drives profitable subscriber growth, engagement, and retention. Yes, obviously, if you advertise and you actually increase and give us more good stuff, yes, more people are going to go towards those higher tiers if there's something worth getting. And I think if I were to take a guess as to why people are even going for the premium titles, is because of the classic titles that are being added. But obviously, if you're in the emulation space, or the emulation sphere, I should say, you'll already be in a good spot regarding that anyways. But I digress. And this is even after the global price increases were implemented in financial year 2023. The local price increases in select countries to improve our pricing. And of course, some places have gotten hit a lot harder than others, going from something like 35% increases in some regions. Like here we have the dollar to euro conversion of like, is this American? Yeah, well, anyway, 120 USD to 160 USD per year, which is about 99 pounds to 119. Yeah, that's fun. Whoop, accidentally clicked on that. Defending the decision at the time, which there quite literally wasn't any point at the time, but it kind of sucks to see that the way in which the executive class is seeing it on the PlayStation side is, hey, if we increase the prices, more people are going to join. But that's not necessarily the case. But rather, well, that's the logic that he's using, even though this graph here is probably a better representation of why, which is give more value and increase the awareness. That'll be the thing that'll actually drive subscriber growth, retention, who knows? I mean, I feel like technically it is retention if there's growth year after year, though extra, that being said, has remained stale, like at the same point. So either, because okay, if we look at FY 2023, 19% are premium and 16 extra, whereas FY24 is 22% premium and 16% extra. It might be fair to say that between the years of 2023 and 2024, or financial year 23 and 24, that 3% of the overall base jumped from extra to premium, and then people from essential jumped into extra, or some went from extra to premium, some went from essential to premium, and some or people went from essential to premium and everyone in extras kind of stayed where they were. There's many ways to be able to look at the numbers, but it's not much. 38% being premium or extra is not great, given that financial year 2022 is 30% and financial year 23 is 35. So we went from 30 to 35 to 38. So while there is growth across those 2 years, it's a slower growth, not an increased growth. So I feel like they might be leaning more on the idea of retention. But that's just me trying to like go on the business side. At the end of the day, for me, there's nothing that could get me to ever pay for extra or premium, because I have way too many games on PlayStation that I've gotten through either the PlayStation Plus program that's been around since like basically the beginning, where you get like 2 or 3 free games every month for years and years. And then there's also the fact that I have thousands of games, no, hundreds, a couple thousand maybe, I don't know, it's like 1,000, 2,000 games digitally from the PlayStation Store currently in my library. So to be completely honest, I have way too many games that I probably will never end up getting to anyways that are available to me, which is almost the equivalency of like the entire catalog that you get when you do go into PlayStation Plus Extra. But I digress. So while there's no reason for me to jump in, I guess there really isn't any reason for other people not to want to jump in either. But with all that being said, however, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. And with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.